And we are live. What is going on, everybody?
Is
We got
up.
Chris in the house. What is going on, buddy? And
What's up,
today
Chris?
we have, what's going on, Chris? So today we have the very new company that I think you're fairly new. And it is called Build a Beard Company. And I think you do have actually a name, so we'll talk about that in a bit. And how are you doing, Vinny?
I'm doing great, guys. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure. I know both of you are early supporters in our follower community, so I'm definitely excited to share our journey on this live and kind of enjoy a dessert. I've got something special lined up for today, so
Nice.
doing great.
Awesome.
How are you guys doing?
There you go. No, you're doing pretty good. Thanks for jumping on.
Yeah, totally appreciate it. Yeah, totally appreciate it. So you have a good, what is the dessert you have? What is it you said you had? I'm sorry.
So I'm from Canada, right? And in Canada, it's called an ice cap. It's from Tim Hortons. And I don't know, it's like a staple here. You know, when you go to Tim Hortons, you gotta get an ice cap, you gotta get Timbits. So I thought, you know, we got a couple of Americans on this live, we should introduce them to some Canadian flavor, you know.
Nice. There you go.
Love it. Love it. Right on, man. I appreciate that. So very cool. And where in Canada are you from, Vinny?
I'm from Toronto.
Toronto. I know a lot of people from Toronto. Yep, that's a cool city. Yeah, very, very fun. A little cold for you, I take it. Got a little bit of a snowstorm recently.
Yeah, you know, it's been kind of up and down. It's like a dry winter, but the past couple of weeks there's been a few snowstorms, and it's a lot worse if you go up north or if you go to like Vancouver and Calgary. I'm hearing, and from the community, there's a lot of people in like PEI and Montreal, and they're telling me that it's pretty bad over there. We're kind of closer to like, we're on the southern side of like, we're not up there. Like we're not like close to the Arctic or anything, so it's not that bad over here.
Okay.
It's like New York, you know, like, or like Michigan. That's the kind of temperature we have here.
Okay.
Yeah, I think me and James would say that is still really cold.
Oh yeah,
I'm from Arizona, and
further south.
Oh yeah, okay.
We got like 80 degrees. It's like we hit a record 82 degrees yesterday, which I don't know what that accumulates to Celsius, but it is hot. It was like a record high temperature for this time of year. Which is, you know, 82 is not bad, but
it's pretty nice here. I think today was like 75.
Oh,
like right now it's like, I think right now it dropped down substantially. Like it's right now it's like 60 or 58 or something like that. Like it dropped down pretty good.
Oh
it's
yeah.
Not, yeah, it's not. Yeah, but
I've never been down to Arizona, but I've always wanted to go. There's a lot of seen a lot of cool pictures on Instagram.
I love
of just like, you know, places in Arizona. Be nice to go check out one day. Maybe I'll come see you guys.
You bet, absolutely, man. You got an open door. You got an open door here, buddy. I have decided that me and my wife have decided that we are going to take more pictures. We're going to do a video log and put it another YouTube channel. And we're going to put it out there in the next very soon. And it's going to be about our travels throughout Arizona, so people can be shared all of the desert, all of the up north where there's pine trees and all of the diversity that is Arizona. So we're going to do a video log and we're going to be doing, of course, food related as well. So it'll be like dirt roads and diners. So it'll be places that we eat along the way, and then. But we really want to share Arizona. We want to share the Southwest with people, and also the West Coast. We go to San Diego quite a bit, so we'll probably share some of that as well. But as exactly, most people are like, "Wow, you guys don't just live in a bunch of sand dunes." No, we don't. There's stuff here. there's pine trees. There's snow. There's things here. So we don't have much of a climate, but it's still nice.
Yeah, that sounds cool. I'd love to check that out one day.
Yeah, soon. Very soon.
Subscriber me.
Yeah, right on. Very soon. Like it's going to be its own YouTube channel because I don't want it to be mixed with beard stuff. But it'll be just a blast. And I think actually having a deal with somebody that, who is not interested in the beard video stuff, my wife having her somewhat interested in this is good enough for me. So happy.
Makes it more fun.
Exactly.
It gets them involved as well. So I think it'll be awesome to check out all the scenery and stuff.
Yeah, totally fun. So what's been going on with you, James? I think we haven't talked in a couple weeks here.
Yeah, it's been a little bit. It's been kind of busy, work wise, and just it's just been, family wise, kind of just girlfriend's doing a lot better. She had a little bit of stuff going on, but she's doing much better now, so which is good.
That's good to hear.
Staying busy.
Yeah, that's really good, man. That's where I'm at. I'm in busy land of, I thought COVID would kind of reduce some of the amount of work that I was doing, and it just seems to get more of it. And then with the lack of somebody being in front of you and you can have those impromptu discussions. I mean, you can still have them over Zoom and Teams, but it's difficult at times. I don't know what you do for a day job, Vinny, but I am an IT engineer or analyst or whatever you call me. And so it's just crazy busy with IT, always busy, always something new on the plate. And I think this time of year, I thought it'd be kind of a little bit more lax, and it's not. A lot of discussions. What do you do for a day job, Vinny?
Yeah, so I'm a professional accountant by trade, but I've kind of taken the entrepreneurial route. I worked the corporate life. I got out of that a few months ago, and I run a creative agency on the side, which has now become a full-time hustle of mine. It's called Upward, and what we do is we help e-commerce businesses scale. We also help them on the finance side with accounting and bookkeeping and automating their practices to kind of help them not waste time doing the boring stuff and focus on their core business. And now I'm working on this social experiment, which is kind of a subsidiary of Upward Creative. It's a project that we're taking on to show people that, this is the time to start an e-commerce business. This is the time to kind of, think of all those funky ideas, put them together and see if you can make some money off of it. And, without getting caught into the gimmicks, without, reading up on a lot of like things that you see on the internet where it sounds like a get rich quick scheme, kind of showing people the organic way of building a brand. So that's kind of what I'm up to right now. If that answers your question.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah. And actually, you know what, right now is the key time for businesses, small businesses especially, to be able to take advantage of that, because either way, if you don't do these small practices, these things that make you more successful, like what you're talking about doing, you won't thrive as a small business, especially in the COVID age. You just have to have your stuff together. You have to have marketing. You have to have your back of the house accounting system set up so that you can adequately forecast where you're going, as well as, being able to pay the taxes and do the right stuff so you're not struggling. Absolutely. I think that's cool, man. That's really cool.
Totally. Thank you.
So that brings us though back to beards. Why beards? What's that all about?
So, I feel like, I've started growing my own beard, like probably like 3 or 4 years ago. Maybe longer than that actually, but over time it's gotten bigger. I played around with like my look and my style, my feel with the beard. And then definitely during quarantine, it just took off to another level because, you're not seeing your barber as much. And, we're locked down pretty tight right now. So it doesn't even make sense to go get yourself a haircut and get yourself groomed. And that's where I was like, you know what, this is my time to start playing with this look and growing my beard out and seeing how I like it. And here we are. This is the longest I've ever had it. I'll probably go a little bit longer.
Good. Looks good.
And yeah, and then during the holidays, I was like, you know what? I want to start an e-commerce hustle, and not just for economic benefit, but because we're going through some challenging times right now. People need motivation to get started. People are losing jobs. And, if there's a nice way to make money, it's online. And it's literally just a genuine effort to help people start their own craft And it's kind of like my elevator pitch. I must have hit both of you in your DMs with the same one. Hey boss, I'm starting an e-commerce brand from scratch, and I'm posting my journey daily. And my goal is to inspire the entrepreneurial spirit, and that's genuinely what it is. And just based off the traction, based on how quickly the community built, it gave me a lot more creative ideas to grow it to what it is now. So that's kind of how we've taken off.
And it's grown pretty quick. I mean, I think, I remember signing on before the 100, and I mean, now you're almost at 900, which is great. And you haven't even been going for a couple months, I think, right? Like 3 months or something, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's February 4th right now, so it's been about a month and a half, I would say.
Yeah. Wow, even shorter. Wow.
That's awesome. That is really awesome. And that's what I really think that right now we really need, that type of spirit, that kind of empowerment, because right now is so critical for so many people who have lost jobs, feeling very downtrodden, feeling like they don't have really a skin in the game anywhere. And I think that this is really, showing people that you can do it, and you can do it in anything that you're passionate about,
right,
is so important. And I think that that's amazing. Very good.
Thank you. And the important thing, like, just to add is, like I mentioned earlier, you can start a business and think you're doing it the right way, but there's so many pitfalls, and there's so many ways you can just blow your money on things that you actually don't need when you start out. And I want to use this account as an example to say, hey, like, I haven't even put that much money into this whole concept yet, but look at all the traction I'm getting, and you can do the exact same thing. And in the coming weeks, I'm about to show like my insights, because I'm getting a lot of views on my page, and that's the type of traction people need to think about when they start out their own brand, is how can you get positive traction without falling into these traps that people, you see all those sponsored ads on your stories all the time, sign up to this subscription or sign up to this and it'll get you like 1,000 clients in a month. You want to try to do things organically, and hopefully, or I'm hoping that this account can kind of show people that, there are ways to do that. And my account is one of the probably hundreds of ways you can go about getting traction.
Yeah, that's really important. I think for small businesses, I think that's a very important. So what would you say is your why? So if you were to say, hey, what is my the purpose in doing this was to show people, empower them to be able to do their own entrepreneur type of skill, or show off something. Is that kind of where you're at right now? Is you're just kind of showing, hey, you too can do this?
That's exactly it. So my why is to build a brand that I'm passionate about, right? And if you can see my passion about like, beards and building a beard company, I think that can rub people. And it doesn't you don't have to start a beard brand, but you can start anything you want. But the starting point is being passionate about what you're doing. And that's my why, is I guess dictating that passion, showing the way. And then if someone reaches out to me, and I've said this on the account before, if someone comes up to me and says, hey, I followed your journey every step of the way, I used a lot of the things that you did, or I used just one thing that you did and it really worked. If someone one day comes up to me and says that, then that's my why right there. Like, I help someone start their own chapter, their own journey, and using my blueprint.
Very nice.
Very nice. And you actually get the community involved as well. You actually get more interactions by giving people like a choice. You know what I'm saying? Having people choose a label, having people choose a name, having people suggest other things that you're putting out there. It's getting people interacting into the company as well, not just you doing it yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's just bringing more people, and that's how I think what's being shared probably by a lot of people, and bringing more people in to get more traction, and to kind of get more people involved in what your company is all about.
And that's the fun part, like that, and that's why genuinely, like, the most fun I'm having is getting everyone involved. Hey guys, what do I do next? You know, vote on this. What's our brand name? And I really feel like, you know, the people, the community, or the followers and the supporters there, they feel like they're a piece of what we're building, and I couldn't do it without anyone who didn't contribute. And that's kind of the beauty of this whole thing. And I don't plan on stopping. I've got a lot of cool ideas coming up. Yeah, and that I'm very excited about.
That's
yeah,
cool.
every time I see a story, it's just like I have to like see what's up there next. You know what I'm saying? What's going on next with you? You know, so it just makes it that much more kind of exciting of what we're doing today or the next day or next week or whatever. So yeah, it's exciting.
Very exciting. That's really cool. So it's almost like a build. Do you guys remember the books Build Your Own Adventure?
Yeah.
I loved those books when I was a kid, but this is build your own business, build your own beard company. Right. You know, got to start off with a name. You got to do some marketing. What kind of marketing am I doing? What kind of labels am I going to make? What kind of bottles am I going to choose? What kind of oils? What kind of carriers? What kind of scents? I love it. I think because then you feel like everybody's kind of a buy-in there, right? And that's, I think, what you're going with is that everybody's going to buy into this. And then, so once they choose the name, people are buying into what you're doing because you're helping them choose that and be part of it with you. I think that's awesome, man. That's how you build a community, in my opinion. That's how you build a community, is by having people buy into what you're selling. And
I appreciate that. And also, just to that point, it's very important, you know, when you're starting out your hustle, it's very important to ask questions about. Ask your customer, your end user of your product, the questions about what they like, because you might think you have the nicest product in the world when you're starting out. You put it out there and you ask 20 people and they say, hey man, like, I already have this, I don't need it. But if you go out and you ask people, okay, what do you like about your beard oil? What don't you like about it? What are your favorite scents? What is your budget on beard oil? You know, just genuine questions, and you aggregate the results. That's kind of like how I've structured my business model. And there's a lot of learning to do just in that. And the community has really helped me kind of navigate through what it is that I want to put out, because, you know, everyone's just showing me the way of what they're looking for, what they need. And there's a lot of passionate, and what I love is there's a lot of people like you guys out here with beautiful beards. You guys have used a lot of product. You guys have a lot of great suggestions on what to look out for, what the pitfalls are. I know, James, you hit me up a few times about, you know, the carriers and the blends. Yeah. And that's the kind of feedback that helps me kind of build my winning product. And if there's one thing that I could suggest to anyone that's starting out is, you know, if you want to start a business, go ask your customer what they want, what they like and what they don't like. And you'll find a lot of answers just by having that interaction.
Right. Absolutely so. Sure. And even Mel here, who it doesn't own a beard, but she's telling what the, you know, some of the purposes she's using some of these things with. I love it. Skin is so important. And I think also you're driving that by saying, hey, what's important to you? But then also you may have to educate them along the way about what's maybe more important than you think it is. I think there's always that opportunity as well, is to help produce a buzz about something that is also healthy for you that you didn't know. So here's something else that you didn't know that's new. I think that's really cool. I love the engagement there. So you started, what was the date that you started off? So you said a couple months ago?
It was, I'll give you the exact date. It was, I'm going to go on my account here. It was December the 17th, I believe.
Wow.
December 17th.
And you've had this much traction since. That's amazing, dude. That is really nice. Very nice.
Yeah. I mean, you know, like it's a lot of things that played out that kind of helped me along the way. One is, you know, I just learned a lot about the beard gang community. You know, when I was like the humble beginnings, the first few days, the first couple of people I hit up, I genuinely just asked them, hey, have you ever completed a survey about what you like and what you don't like about your beard? And the first 3 or 4 people said, no, I've never done that before. And they all had like really nice long beards. And that right there kind of excited me. I was like, okay, well, maybe I'm doing something different here. Maybe like if I asked 100 people, you know, what they like and what they don't like about their beard, and a bunch of other questions I came up with, I think like that's what excited me to kind of build it to what it is now.
Nice.
Yeah, very nice. So when you take a look at your future, so we're talking, so you're going to keep doing this. I know that the thing that's currently going on is that you have just decided upon a name, and I think we were going to talk about a little bit about that. You decided about what is the name of the company, and I know that you have some revelations to that. I guess there was a contest, and there were some people that picked some really great names. Do you want to go into that a little bit?
Yeah, so we couldn't, I mean, you know, I had a very big attachment to our original name, Build a Beard brand. There were some trademark issues there. Someone hit me up saying, you know, like we have some trademarks with parts of the names of that handle, and that plus, you know, I couldn't be called Build a Beard brand forever. You know, it's very to the point. You know, like when you read that name, you know exactly what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to build a beard brand. So then we ran a contest to kind of change the Build a Beard brand handle to Build a Beard Co. And I got the whole community to vote on the handle and whatnot. And then actually that came after, but before that, I really needed to get a brand name out there that wasn't so boxed in. So what I mean by that is there's 2 different types of brand names you can get. One is a suggestive brand name and one is a descriptive brand name. A descriptive brand name is Build a Beard Co. When you read that, you know exactly what we're doing. A suggestive brand name is like Uber or Maintained. Like it suggests, you know, what kind of avenue you're in, but it doesn't box you into just selling beard oil. So one day, if we grow to the level that I hope we do, what if I want to sell, you know, skincare products, or what if I want to sell other grooming accessories that are not beard related, but they're for men? Build a Beard Co. wouldn't work in that situation. So the downfalls of having a descriptive brand name is exactly that, is you can't kind of diversify your product offering. So that's kind of the intent behind getting a name that's suitable for my brand. And then the second thing is I wanted to get the whole community involved to help me decide on this brand name, because up until that point, the community was helping me out with everything. So I was like, okay, you know what? Let's get people to, you know, suggest the coolest names that they can think of. And James over here got the winning name, which was amazing. I got over 300, and I can't remember the number now, but over 300 people to submit their names. Got it down to the last 3, I believe, and then James was in the top 3, and then he took it. Like it came down to James' name, and then there was one other name. What was it? Gentleman's Assembly. Oh, yeah. And up until the last day, it was like neck and neck, and then right before I closed it, Maintained was the winning name. So that's kind of how it came about. And you know, I definitely appreciate everyone that contributed. It was a lot of fun just to see all the names that were out there. And if anybody ever wants to open up a beard company, I've got about 300 names that they can pick from. So hit me up.
Send the list over, yeah.
So I was thinking about that, and congratulations, James, though this guy wins everything, so I'm not surprised in any way, shape, or form that he won something. He won another thing. Oh, how surprising.
Yeah, Chris.
So, but very cool, very cool. So I want to hear the most creative names that maybe you came across that were just like, whoa. What was that guy thinking? Or maybe even something that you were just like, hey, that's still a really cool name. We didn't choose it, but still really cool. What were some of the ones that maybe some top 5 or something that were the ones that you were the funniest or most creative?
I'm gonna have to go back on this, but there's definitely there's some funny ones. There were some like weird ones too. Like people were like, and then there's a lot of, because we're from Canada, there's a lot of like Canadian type names, and a lot of them were funny, and a lot of them were just like, come on, just because we're from Canada, it doesn't mean like
you know, using A or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, there was a lot of that. I'm just trying to go back and see what they were, because it's been a little bit.
It's all good. Like the maple syrup company.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Mounties are us. I could see people doing that. I could see you doing that. Oh, people.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever watched South Park?
Yeah.
They're always kind of making fun of the Canadians in that. I know they must have had a run-in at some point with some Canadians.
Yeah, I mean, we get it from every TV show, even The Simpsons. There's a lot of Canadian jokes on The Simpsons as well.
Yeah. Well, the problem is that I think the way that Americans view it, and this is just this is very generalistic, so I'm definitely not saying, but it's always that the Canadians are so nice that they're willing to they won't say anything mean. And that's when I look at that, they're always like, I saw a TikTok the other day that was talking, how do you know you're Canadian without telling me you're Canadian? And then the lady was like, they were interrupting each other, but apologizing for interrupting each other.
Oh yeah, that's big time. It's like I went to New York one time and I held the door for somebody, and there was like a whole line of people that were coming out the door, and I literally held it for like 30 seconds, and one guy comes up to me and he's like, hey man, you don't have to do that. But like over here, it's like you hold the door for somebody, they say thank you. I didn't even get a thank you, but that's just how it is over here.
Nice, polite people. There's nothing wrong with having a polite nation where people are polite to each other. That's great. So you have anything? What do we got?
Sorry, I got sidetracked there, but hold on. Let me pull it up for you from my laptop because.
Don't even worry. But I put you on the spot. But I just was like. I'm always putting people on the spot. That's the name of my game lately, is that I was like, hey, yeah, just put you. I had a thing today with a knowledge transfer, and I'm just like, hey, I want you to show me everything you've done to everybody here. And they're like, whoa, yeah, well, it's a KT. That's what we do. We do some knowledge transfer really quick.
KT, yeah, I know that term. Yeah. Okay, here I got some for you. So
awesome.
So there's like this one sexual one that was Bed Her Beard Co. So I thought that was kind of funny, but no. Custom beards, that was a good one. Fully bearded was a good one. Muzzle control. I really like that one. Muzzle control. There was this really cool one, Skegjoff. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right, but it was like an Icelandic.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool, and I really contemplated making that my top 3, but the other 3 were just like the standalone top 3 for sure. The People's Choice, Maintained was the winner. Whiskers, Sacred Whiskers, Stubble Trouble.
Stubble Trouble, that's a good one.
Yeah, so.
Sacred Whiskers was another one of my picks too.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
James, man, you're killing it.
James is like, so James, believe it or not, and as much as I give him a bunch of stuff about the fact that he is able to win all of this stuff, he actually researches stuff before the live stream, knowing that maybe there is somebody that is going to they're going to do a giveaway. What would they give away, and what would they possibly be able, what if they're going to ask a question, I'm going to watch some stuff. So he's actually going into the company's vault, looking at some stuff to make sure he has some knowledge about them. And then when they ask the question, he's like, yeah, I know that one. And it's just doing research, a little bit of research, and then he's, the king champion of winning stuff. I don't think there is anybody else.
I'm taking a break.
I might need you to name my products.
I know he needs to be a consultant of his own, because he's doing the research, he's doing the education on what this person should be doing. I got it. He's doing good. So
so like like I said, the first thing you're coming out with is the said carrier blend or whatever. But so are you doing that? You're working with somebody, right, to help you create the oil, I guess.
Yeah, so I linked up with an oil influencer. I also got some consultations with other experienced skin experts, one of them being my client, outside of this social experiment. And yeah, like she's really good with essential oils and carrier oils. In fact, she, like, from what she explained to me, like, she uses carriers and essential oils on a daily basis. And she's built up a crazy following. People really like resonate with her formulas and her recommendations. She's got over, like, I don't know how many millions of views, but she's up there in terms of being like an oil influencer. So I reached out to her on my own and I said, hey, this is what my vision is. I'm building this beard company and I've got a little bit of traction right now, and I'm trying to. Initially, I hit her up for the first 100 bottle. I said, I've got 100 people that are anxiously waiting for me to give them some product. I don't have anything yet, but I need your guidance. And she kind of walked me through, like, what the winning recipe is going to be based on the survey results. So the survey results came in. Out of the 100 people I surveyed, 66%, I believe, said that they liked a woodsy smell. And then another, I think, like 61% said that their goals were to improve their beard appearance and also to strengthen their beard, like the hair. So I kind of went to her and I said, hey, like, these are my goals. This is the kind of product I want to build. This is how I want it to smell. I want it to be 100% natural. I don't want to sacrifice on quality. And I want my blends and my ingredients to be organic. And so that's kind of how we worked through the winning recipe. And when we went to the drawing board, we tried a few things out, and that's how we came up with the first 100, which I love myself. It turned out great. Like, I put it on for like probably 3 weeks. I gave it to a few of my friends to try out, and they loved it. And then I was like, you know what, this is the one that I'm gonna send out and honor my first 100 supporters with. And people are starting to get it now. So I know I've definitely sent out both of yours, but the Canadians are definitely getting it first, because obviously, I think because of the lockdown, the lady at the post office told me that there's going to be like probably a 1 week delay for all of the packages that went out to the US. Right. So all the Canadian supporters are starting. Like, I was surprised they got them. Today's Thursday. They've already received them. So yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about that. So what carriers did you decide on, and then what essential oils did you decide on for this first oil? So
the carriers are mainly, there's organic golden jojoba, there's a little bit of castor, there's grapeseed oil, and a little bit of apricot kernel. And then the essential oils, I can't really reveal like the secret blend that I have, but there's three blends that I put in for the essentials to kind of make that winning scent. And that's what took the longest, because there's 100 different ways to get that woodsy scent. And, there's 100, I don't know if there's actually 100, but there's different formulas to get that woodsy scent. And that was the toughest, to kind of smell like 5 different variations and be like, okay, which one do I like the best? Because after a while, they all start smelling the same. So I had to try them out over a couple of days to kind of to get the one that I liked. Oh, very cool. Very cool. Well, good.
And I think the essential oil. So I'm a big essential oil fan. I tell people this all the time. That's what got me into this space, is because I already knew about carrier oils as well as essentials, because I've been using them in my diffuser as well as around the house and for roll-ons and stuff like that for some time. So I was familiar with it, and I know the benefits of all of these essential oils. So did you take that into account as well as the benefits from the essential oil itself, or were you just plainly looking at scent?
Absolutely. So the essential oils that I was looking at, they all contribute to the end goal of the survey results. So they all contribute to your beard appearance. They all contribute to growing stronger hair follicles. And there was one more goal that I can't remember right now, but essentially, like, the oil influencer recommended all the product for these goals. And then out of that, I had to pick the winning scent.
Very nice.
Was there hemp seed in there too? I think I saw hemp seed.
Sorry?
Was there hemp seed oil in there too?
Yes, there was hemp seed. Sorry, yeah, I missed that one.
You had me at hemp seed right there. Okay, now you got me. I love hemp seed. That is like. And then, what's the journey with finding your purveyors of oils? So, what was I know that is quite a journey for most people to go on, and finding the essentials, because essential oil companies, there are so many, and there's different grades of them as well as carriers. So, what kind of let you on? What journey did you go on, and what did you decide on for essential oils and carriers?
So, my whole thing with this whole project, first and foremost, was to support local, just because, like, just locally here in Toronto, I've been saying, I'm sure it's everywhere. It's not just in Toronto. Like, we're going through a pandemic, and every day you're seeing all this negative news about businesses shutting down, local businesses. And there's a lot of places here that, there's staples in the city, and they're shutting down. And that's really sad to see. So my whole initiative was like, okay, well, if I'm starting my own brand, before I go outside, I want to support locally. And my goal was to find suppliers that were local as well. And I did some online research, and then came up with a list of, I think it was 4 suppliers of essential oils, carrier oils. And I ended up picking the one that they had the most reviews online. And then I called them up. I had multiple conversations with them about their products. And then and they're a major supplier. They supply like North America wide. They don't just supply locally. So I was very, very confident. I took a visit to the warehouse. Where they're distributing all the oils. It's massive, and there's a lot of other what do you call it? There's a lot of other e-commerce businesses that are in like soaps and other natural products and hair care products that are using the same supplier, and that gave me a lot of comfort in speaking with the customers of that supplier. It gave me a lot of comfort in picking them. And then, of course, when I tried the product out myself, and I tried the oils out and myself, then I kind of learned that it was working great for me. Essentially, you got to love it first before you put it out and give it out to 100 people, and later on even more than that. And that's what made me comfortable with my supplier.
Very cool.
Very nice. Yeah, I like the supporting local. That's awesome. Cool.
Very cool. So this is a question that I have for James right at this very moment. And I don't think we talked about the fact that, because I keep looking at my dessert and wanting to eat it. So I kind of want to get what did he make, so I can go start eating my dessert before I just start eating it and people wondering what the heck is he eating.
I totally forgot even about that. Yeah, I was just
like he shows off his dessert, and I'm like, oh, that's really cool. It's this really cool Canadian local, something that's really cool. And then I'm like, well, I'm kind of hungry now, and I want people to know what I'm eating so they don't go, what is he eating? So go ahead, James. What did you? So this guy. So just everybody who probably has tuned in before, this guy is a chef. So I've given up on competing with the chef. I'm just buying store-bought things that I want to eat that are probably fattening, but are definitely not as good as his. But go ahead, show me your homemade cookies.
I did sandwich cookies pretty much. So I mean, these are like little like sandwich things. I haven't made like sandwich cookies in a while, and something that I was like, oh, I might make this. So these are just like chocolate chip cookies, a little vanilla cream like in the middle, you know, chocolate chips. I went and got like the chocolate chips yesterday, and I had them in my cupboard, and I'm like, so I brought them to work with me, and I made those.
So you made like a chocolate. Let me get this right. You get a chocolate chip, and then you stuff the Oreo type of vanilla cream into the middle. So now you have a chocolate chip cookie with the vanilla cream. So it's like an Oreo chocolate chip.
Some of that. Yeah, some of that. I ended up I mean, it's not like
it's so too good, man. It's just too good. It makes me so. What did I buy for myself? Actually, our next door neighbor, and I love these. These are those little Italian briscottas or biscottis.
Oh, biscotti, yeah.
Oh, this one has the chocolate on it. This one, I love the ones. This is the ones without. So these don't have the chocolate, but I will tell you that I could eat these all day long, and I would probably, weigh 1,000,000 pounds, but I absolutely love these. And it's been staring at me since we started talking about desserts earlier. So I was like, I'm just not going to eat
the conversation with this. Like,
and
I was kind of wondering when you guys are going to get started with yours. But I'm almost halfway through this right now. So
when are they going to start? Like, we talked about his desserts, like we're beards and desserts, and I'm like, yeah, well, that's right. We should be eating these the entire time now, I think, because I would like to get a little bit fatter, and that's the whole. But I know, this is what I know. There are two people in this community that if I lived anywhere near them, I would be weighing another 100 pounds, and that would be Chef, Chef, and Mrs. Bluegrass. There's no doubt. I've even just seen her recipe. So she hooked me up with a Salisbury steak recipe, which I owe her a recipe on chorizo chili. But yeah, so good. It's like the Southwest best. To me, that chili is the epitome of the Southwest. And we use pinto beans. We don't use kidney beans. We use pinto beans, which I've become a huge fan of. Of pinto beans in my chili versus kidney, which I grew up with, was the kidney. And I just like the texture of pinto beans over the kidney beans. But you put chorizo, like real Mexican chorizo, into it. You're talking heaven, and you put a little bit of the green chili and the jalapenos and maybe a habanero in that, and you're just it's solid gold. But today we're going Italian. Right. I love these freshly delivered by our next door neighbor, who just is like, he gives us bagels from New York and then these little Italian things that he gets every year. So
Ken gets homemade chocolate chip oatmeal cookies every day, pretty much.
I know that. I don't even want to talk about it. Like, that's like, oh, here, Ken, have another wonderful cookie. I'm just like, like, we just have to growl at Ken every time we see him. Look at that guy. He's got it easy. So anyway, so now we're back off the desserts. So we'll go back to, James, go ahead. And what other questions do you have for him? Before I move on, I have a few questions that I want to ask, but I want to make sure I get any questions you want to ask.
You can go ahead. I can
ask. I'm just going to be spitballing 5 tips that you would give to help somebody grow their small business.
5 tips. Okay. I would say number 1, be passionate about what it is that you want to sell or what you want to put out into the universe. Number 2, have more than one idea, and don't be emotionally attached to that one. Like, don't just come out and say, I want to sell this. Have at least 2 or 3 things that you really think would do well, and then do your research on those 3, concepts and see which one sticks the most. You know, ask some questions, reach out to potential customers, and then the one that sticks is the one you go with. So that's number 2. Number 3, ask people what they think of your idea, and don't ask your friends and don't ask your family, because I learned about this through one of my mentors. It's called can't remember the exact term, but it's called like having an ugly baby. So if you just birth a child and you're like, you know, you tell your mom or your best friend, hey, this is my baby, how does it look? They're not going to tell you the baby looks ugly. But like if you go out to like, you know, a random stranger, like you're going to get their true opinion. They may not say it to your face, but they're like, you know what they're going to give you more of a real answer than, you know, your friends and family, because they genuinely want to support you and they don't want to let you down. So always approach strangers. So that's number 3. Number 4 and 5. I don't know.
You got 3. 3's good. 3's good. Off the fly, you know, and the reason why I ask is because those are the tips. And I hope that people really watch this in this community, because these are really sound practices that, especially if, you know, you've been around a little bit. And I think it's really important. We have so many small businesses that me and James are part of, and we really take that very seriously as reviewers, knowing that we have somebody's child, you know, somebody's brainchild in our hands, especially when reviewing their products, and taking that time to really know what their company's about, what they have to sell, what they have to offer, what value they're presenting, is always something that we try to do as reviewers. At least that's what I do. I don't, you know, I'm in it for that reason. I like the relationship aspect, and I like trying to promote good companies that are doing it well. And I think that those tips really help. And I think that being able to maybe have people be able to reach out. Now, are you somebody that is able to be, are you approachable in those? It sounds like you are. Like, hey, I'm struggling with my beard company. What are the things that you are seeing go wrong, or maybe that you can have discussions with you? Are you like on a consultant basis?
Absolutely. So I've already had a few people that have hit me up over the course of like the past month and a half. And even, believe it or not, people that are running beard brands are hitting me up saying, you know, this is what we're doing. This is the direction we're going in. What do you think? And I'm like, I have an open door policy. You know, I want to see people succeed. I think that there's enough room for, you know, competition. There's enough room for helping others. Everybody has a unique story. Like I know that our story is very different than other beard companies out there. And I know that, you know, if you're selling t-shirts, and this is one thing, like one of my coaches told me a long time ago, if you're selling t-shirts, there's 100 different t-shirt products out there. If you have your own niche, there's enough business out there for you that you don't need to feel threatened. So I always welcome people hitting me up and asking questions, because I genuinely want to see people succeed. That's the whole point of this whole initiative, is to help people build their own hustle. And, you know, I'd love to help.
Right. I mean, I do see a lot of companies that do reach out, or that might ask suggestions, or stuff like that. I mean, like they said, it's not, even though you want to see your own company succeed, of course, that's everybody's goal. If somebody has a question about something, they do tend to reach out to other companies and ask for advice, or, you know, so.
Well, I think that it's true that through a bunch of help, we all succeed. So I think that if we all stand strong together, we all succeed as a bunch of entrepreneurs trying to do. Everybody has a different niche, even within the beard community. There's something that sets them apart. And being able to say, this is what sets me apart in a different way than what yours is perfectly acceptable. I think the problem that I run into with sometimes the beard community is the fact that there's a lot of infighting when we don't need that. We can actually build each other up in positive ways by promoting entrepreneurship and empowerment in your own business, supporting the passion, and then finding their distinct niche and being able to uplift that to others and market that, versus bringing others down, which is, you know, I think that what you're selling is empowerment and positivity. And I think that goes a long way.
I think like one of the biggest pushbacks that I've gotten so far is when I'm like sliding in people's DMs saying, you know, this is what I'm doing, this is my initiative. We're more than just building a beard brand. We're building a platform for people to learn, and that's kind of what I want to get across when I'm talking to people and I'm asking them for their support to come follow my account, come follow our journey, and come build with me. Biggest pushback I get is, oh yeah, I'm already an ambassador for this brand, and I'm only pushing their product. And you know, that's not my reason for approaching you is not to kind of step on the brand that you're supporting's toes. The reason why I'm approaching you is, hey, you right here, you're an ambassador for someone else's brand. But what if you, instead of doing that, what if you just started your own little thing, you know, your own e-commerce hustle? My account is not just a beard company. It's teaching you how to start something up on your own. And FYI, it's free. Like, I'm putting out all this effort to make your life easier. So, you know, why don't you give me a chance and, you know, follow my account? So that's definitely, you know, you hit the nail on the head there with the community. You know, sometimes it's like, it's a war zone with the brands that they support, but once they get behind the initiative, I think they'll see like, or if everyone can just get along and, you know, support everyone like a community, then I think it's better for every brand.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. That's very positive. And I think it also makes you feel good at the end of the day. You know, it really does. I think positivity makes you feel good at the end of the day, and helping out other individuals is always such a benefit that it actually uplifts you and makes you happier. And I think that what you're doing is absolutely that's tremendous. That's the goal. I love it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And just to that as well is like, you know, there's definitely days where like, you know, we've been doing this, like I've been posting every single day since December the 17th. And there's days you wake up and you're just like, oh, I don't know, like, am I doing the right thing? Or did I, like, what do I do next? Am I running out of ideas? Or is my product good enough? You know, you do have moments of doubt, or you have moments of like, I don't know if I'm going to succeed, or I don't know if I'm getting my message across the right way, or, you know, whatever the case may be. But then you get that message in your DM and someone just says like, hey man, I love what you're doing. This is amazing. And thank you. And then right away, you're just like, okay, now I need to do something. You know, that's kind of what's carried me to this point, is the positive interaction that people have been giving me throughout the journey. So if there's one thing I could like, out of those 5 things I know you asked, the other one is, you know, if you give positivity, most likely you'll get it right back, and that'll help you grow even further.
Right. I know one thing too that you're doing right now is, and I think I put a vote in right now, is that you're doing a donation thing. Like, you're gonna donate $1 for every like purchase to whatever cause that you choose or whatever. I know a lot of people are putting in suggestions or whatever. And then you obviously choose and you know, pick out the best one or whatever. But I think that's another good thing too. Companies that donate, you know, whether it's like $1, $2, whatever, a percentage or whatever, even bets or something like that. I think that's just a cool idea, and it gives back. It's almost like that the customer is giving back to that as well. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like the customer is helping donate to that cause.
Totally. And that's the other thing is, just to that point, like, when I started this account, it was about helping people build their brands. But what if, like, you know, this business picks up and then I don't really have much else to share? Then that's all I did, was like, I helped people learn how to build a brand. But what am I going to do going forward? And right away, I was like, okay, well, I need to have a charity component, so that not only am I helping people, you know, with like financially or economically, but I'm also giving back to the community that's not like my followers, but even bigger than that. And eventually, like, I plan to have goals, right? Like, let's try to raise X number of dollars to give back to this charity. So that's kind of why I ran this contest, so that we can get people to vote for or suggest some charities that they think we should get behind and give back to. And that contest is open right now, by the way. So I'm still taking names. We've got over 50 so far, really good ones as well. And I don't even know when to stop. And it's very, just like the name contest, supporting a charity is also a very, very challenging thing to do, because there's a lot of help. There's a lot of places that need the help, and to pick like your top three, like, you know,
right. You want to help them all, but you know what I'm saying?
Help them all, exactly.
You don't want to give out so much to, for your own, your own pocket, or donation, whatever, or sale.
100%.
So, but I mean, hey, if you're helping one, I mean, you're helping a lot already. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, and then what I plan to do is, like, maybe once a year, or maybe every 6 months, we can vote for another charity. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of how, like, I plan to give back going forward, because at some point, like, the learning is going to be like, it's going to be its own little book or something that I'm going to give out, and then going forward, my giving back component will be the charity piece. So
I mean, like I said, top 12 or something. Maybe every month do a different charity or something like that. For the whole year. The way you have to just pick one. I mean. You have 12, you know what I'm saying? 12 company, 12 donations that you can do out.
Right.
Cool.
I'm just munching on my cookies.
I was just going to say, how's your biscotti?
It's so good. This chocolate one's so good. I'm like, I mean, it's so crunchy. You're like, I don't want to be too loud because I love it. This is my lesson of the day. Don't come to Beards and Desserts hungry, because you'll just want to eat the desserts and not just look at them.
you start zoning out and just like not pay attention.
I'm hungry. I am very hungry. Get to the dessert part where I can eat the dessert part. Let's go. Ron's here. Yeah, Ron, you know what? I absolutely have you guys seen the? Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say this is a great idea, because the sugar actually keeps you going.
True. And that's what I was thinking. I was like, it's not that I wasn't draining, but I'm just hungry. And I was like, I'm looking at this, chocolate little goodness. And I'm like, oh, I got to eat it. I got to eat it. This fat boy needs some food. So, you know what? I have just really enjoyed this, to be honest with you. I didn't really, I mean, I have seen your posts, and I kind of understood the concept. And now that I'm talking to you, I am so bought into what you're doing, Vinny. I mean, this is just really, this is empowering. This is uplifting. I've been really in this space lately. I told James that I just needed about 2 weeks. I really kind of got at the beginning of the January. I really kind of got into a rut of negative thought and mindset, and I was just like, I need to get out of this. I'm really unhappy with how things are turning out right now for myself, and what I'm doing, what I'm about. So then I spent like 2 weeks just in meditation, really finding purpose. Like, what am I doing this for? Why am I doing this? And what I found was I had 2 whys. And this is like when we were talking about, if you can find your why, you can deal with your hows. You can suffer through hows and whatever it is to get you to where you need to be. But my whys were building relationships and self-care. And self-care can be through, some of the meditation stuff I teach, some of the wisdom that I, dispel, but the friendship piece is the relationships, which is what you're also talking about, building those relationships with others in this community and uplifting them. And that's exactly why I'm glad you're on the show, because I was just like, what an absolutely uplifting message that you two can, anything that you're doing, if you're passionate about it, let's make this into something that is something you really want to go. Because if you think about it, so much of our 9-to-5s are something we may not be passionate about anymore. Or we were passionate maybe at one time and now we're not. And then it's usually our side hustle that makes us into something that, kind of gets our life meaning at times. And I know that the meditation teacher part for me, as well as doing the beard reviews, is something that's what I'm passionate about on as a side hustle. And I think that that's exactly what you're doing. And I think that you're showing that empowerment by doing that. And you gave this, you said, hey, I'm done with the 9 to 5. I'm going to make this a full-time hustle. I love it. Absolutely love it. How is that? I know that must have been scary. How does it feel to be in this space now?
Honestly, like it felt very empowering to, like, you know, wake up the next morning and be like, okay, well, like, blank canvas, go for whatever it is that you feel like you were born to do. And you know, e-commerce and finance, it's like, I guess it's in my blood. So that's kind of the direction I ran towards. And I've been doing consulting for a long time on the side. And I was like, you know what, this is what I love to do. This is what I've you know, what's meant for me. And it's definitely scary because, you know, being an accountant is, you know, definitely like a decent profession. It pays the bills. And I worked very hard to get to that level of, like, you know, of a professional ranking. But, you know, I feel like I have more to offer than, you know, closing people's books and looking at their numbers and things like that. And I can use that skill set and take it somewhere else in a different space. So yeah, it was a scary jump, but something that you know, looking back on it, I'm very, very happy that I did, because, you know, you only live once, and you want to kind of come to a point where, you know, you choose to do things your way. And this was my way of kind of, you know, getting the social experiment going, being creative, being unique. Bless you.
Thanks.
And kind of think of things out of the box to get things rolling for me. And I'm really, really happy with things, the way they're turning out, most importantly by helping people. And I'm really, really excited for what's to come.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, I look forward to what every time I see a story or post or whatever, I always see what it's all about. Like, what are we voting on today? Or, you know, it just makes it that much more fun and kind of exciting to see what's going to be built from it.
I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And for people that are in this space, this is what we call building meaningful lives. And meaningful meaning that you're benefiting others in what you're doing and what you're passionate about, and being able to uplift and bringing that value to others is huge. Because I think that, I don't know how old you are, but I know that I hit around 40. I wasn't happy with my life. And that's what led me to what I'm doing now in life. And I think that you get to a point to where you're like, this 9 to 5 made a lot of money. I'm doing okay, but it's not fulfilling my whys anymore. You know, at one time when the whys were, I'm raising my kids. This is helping me fundamentally help my kids. My kids are grown up now. So now I have just the one kid who's like 12, which, you know, he's not needing much. Just give him some Fortnite. But I think that this is now what I realize is that the whys come as 40, you know, this purpose that you're looking for, this purpose and passion. You have to be able to, you now see it and go, I can't waste my life not living up to this potential. And right. I think that the potential comes from bringing meaning. That's what I've realized, is that for me, it's about being a benefit to others, and that gives me meaning, and it makes life meaningful. And I think that that's exactly what you're talking about, which is, it's awesome. And being able to do that, take that scary jump and say, I'm okay, you can do it too.
Right.
Yeah. And, you know, like the biggest thing that, like, the most satisfying thing is like waking up on a Monday morning and not being like, oh, it's Monday. Like, I'm very excited to start and you read those memes all the time about, like, you know, if you love what you're doing, then it's not your job. But it's actually true. Like, I wake up every single day, like, and I work long hours, but I don't feel like I am, because I'm doing what I love. And if people can get to that point, it's definitely, like, it's uplifting. It definitely challenging. It's very tough to like cold turkey, just start a new thing and run with it. But it's also rewarding in other ways and financially, you know, when you're just starting out, and then eventually, because you're so passionate, you will get to that point where things will start rolling for you, because, you know, you'll start meeting people, you'll start networking, you'll gain some traction, and then you'll start seeing some results.
Awesome. And then you're able to give out free advice, and others just make sure that they are on the same journey and maybe able to help them out and figuring out what their why is. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that is so powerful and so needed right now. I mean, people trying to figure out what their purpose in life is and what their passions are, and how to make a passion into something for themselves is so important. I commend that. Awesome.
Thank you.
So now we're going to get into the fun thing, which is beard oil. Let's talk beard oils. So we got a future tense, and so you've released beard oil #1, and it's a woodsy scent. What is on the plate? What is it? Where are you going? Scent wise and company wise, where are you going?
I have a lot of exciting things in the works right now, and I can't really reveal exactly the direction, but I can promise you it's going to stay true to the concept. And we're working on a website that's going to bring a very cool interactive experience. And it's kind of all I can say right now for the future. But I do plan on, one thing I can say is I do plan on having the blend exclusive. So just like the first 100 blend, I know a lot of people that were not the first 100 that don't get to try the product out. I know they've been hitting me up saying, hey, like, how can I buy it, or can I try it out? Don't worry, you know, there's going to be more exclusive products coming.
Right.
I love that.
You're knocking on 1,000, so there's your next exclusive.
That's really cool, man. That is really cool. And you know what? I'm an IT geek, so you know, as soon as you say interactive web page, I'm like, oh, I cannot wait to see that. I'm wondering what he's, of course, you know, in my head, I'm like, what's he using technology wise? Is he using React? What's he using?
Oh, I hope it lives up to your expectations, but
I'm a king geek, so yeah. But I will. I'm sure it will, because I love interactive pages. I just absolutely think that when you go to a web page and it makes you stay for longer than 2 seconds, because you just are engaged into what they're doing, how they've promoted themselves. You can get into, I remember being in a web page where it was so interactive that you were there. I was there for 10, 15 minutes without knowing it, because it just had so much fun built into it. And you're just like, this is awesome. And then, you know, I'm a geek, so of course I'm like trying to figure out how they did it.
how builtwith.com.
Yeah, exactly. And then the second thing, because I'm a system performance engineer, I'm figuring out how they could do it faster. But that's the geek in me. That's the geek. It comes out.
Yeah, and you know what? Like when it came to building the website, like I've got some experience in web design as well. We do that with the agency. The big piece there is obviously the interactive experience is cool, but it's also about building a story, right? So when you're building a brand, you also want to you want your story to be unique, and you want people to kind of resonate with your story, and that's what makes the experience so sweet for people to go in there. And for us, you know, I think we have a beautiful story. It's not about me at all. It's about the community. It's about the people that are voting for my products, that are voting for the brand name, that are voting for the charity and the logo and all that other fun stuff. And literally, like when you go on the website, my goal is to have the community feel like, hey, like I contributed to this experience, and that's why this experience is so sweet.
Well, it's engaging. It's engaging. That's a huge piece of being able to buy into somebody's story, but also engaging in that story. And you've made that completely visible and transparent. This is what I'm doing. I want you to be along for the journey with me. Let's join. Let's be together. Vote with me. come up with these concepts. I absolutely love it. I just am. I love it, man. It's a great idea. Very great idea.
Yes.
Yeah. Very cool. And James picks. I was like, build a beard company. Who the heck is that? I remember seeing it, but like, they've only been around like a month and a half or what? And I'm just so wow, very impressed. Very impressed. How very cool. Very exciting. So the future looks bright. We got new websites coming up, new products coming up. What else? You got a unicorn?
I haven't thought that far yet, but I hope so. I hope one day I can get to that point. But yeah, the website's up on its way. Then we're gonna introduce what the concept is, the business model, and there's a lot of learning on the way, right? So there's gonna be well, in the immediate future, I still need a logo. So we came up with the winning name, which was maintained. Then we're going to vote on the logo. So in the coming weeks, I'm still waiting for my designer to give me like 5 or 6, nice logos that I really dig. And then from there, I'm going to throw it up on the voting, and I'm going to ask the community to vote on what our logo should look like, and then what we're going to put on our packaging. And then from there, we're going to start learning on Shopify or WordPress, or like what platform should you use when you're starting up your e-commerce? Because there's a lot of pitfalls there, right? If you go the paid route, then it's Shopify or WooCommerce or BigCommerce or whatever. But then if you want to save some money and also have a really dope looking website, WordPress is a great option as well. So kind of teaching people what's out there, because a lot of this technical stuff, it can get confusing for someone that's never done it before. So the learning aspect of it is going to be critical. Also, little things that help you convert, and then eventually we can get into the marketing and all the fun stuff to kind of drive you sales and traffic the right way, without burning a hole in your pocket.
Nice.
Yeah, that's very cool, man. That's very cool. And those are the big questions. So off the shelf software versus build your own. What's the pitfalls of both? I deal with that on a day. I'm actually soon to be writing a paper about that. Like, why are we using open source versus, which is build your own, or buying something that's off the shelf? What's the advantages? What's the disadvantages? And it's amazing good concepts that you're teaching. I love that. Okay.
Nice.
Well, James, I know that you in 45 minutes
are
going to be on with Bearded Life, doing a new. This is what we love to do as reviewers. We love to do exactly what we're doing tonight with another company. And what is it, Bearded Fellas, or I don't know what is it's
Bandbox Fella.
Bandbox Fellas, right?
Which is AKA it was Mike Chronic Beard, his new company. Yeah.
Now, is it his new company name, or is this just the CBD line of his new company?
It's a CBD line. Well, it's his new name. He's changing. He's gonna have the Chronic line, but essentially it's gonna be changed to Bandbox Fella. That's what it is now.
Which we had that discussion. We had that discussion actually with Mike about names. So just to catch up, Vinny. So we had Mike on the show about probably about 2 months ago, month or two, I can't remember.
Yeah, a month, I think.
Yeah. So we had him on the show, and he was like, should I change the name of my? And this goes right to what you're talking about, image. So he had the name Chronic Beard, which of course is, that's historically is talking about marijuana. The Chronic, Dr. Dre right there. So he was like, hey, I don't know if I want to be associated with that. And is it giving me is it giving me something negative by being able to do this name? Is it like, because I get this feedback where comments are saying, I won't buy from you because it has the name Chronic in it.
Plus, like Chronic, like, yeah, that it goes into that your mind thinks that, but like what chronic actually means is something like that's what good or something. It has a different meaning, but people obviously may misinterpret it for obviously marijuana, especially when his logo wasn't pot leaves, it was just hemp leaves. Hemp leaves.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
But people who don't know it would automatically gravitate towards
selling weed or whatever, selling that, and he would get blocked and accounts, bank accounts get frozen. I mean, that's a whole different story or whatever, but it was just, he kept running into problems, and it was just time for like a change. He's still going to have like that line on the website. Like you can still buy, I'm not sure, but he's just going to have a line, I think, later on as he grows or as it goes on.
What's the new name now?
It's called Bandbox Fella.
Bandbox Fella, cool.
Yeah. Unique.
Yeah.
Unique.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know what a bandbox is though.
I think it's something with like, I think how he put it, it's almost like a meaning of like being like handsome or some kind of like well groomed or dapper kind of like feel. So like handsome, like well groomed fella or something like that. I think he'll probably get into it or the name of it.
I love it, man. It's awesome. It's really cool.
So that right there it's a suggestive name.
Yep, that's what I was just about ready to say. Yep, something that means something else that he can grow with that. Exactly what you were talking about, Vinny, is that he could grow with that name and not just be tacked on to some beard company. He could be selling soap. He could sell soap or some combs or that's really cool. I love that.
Yeah, Chris confirmed it. That's why I said dapper.
Very cool. Very cool. So this is my question for you, Vinny, before we take off, so we can give James a few minutes to get prepared for his next stream. And to not take away too much time into your night. You probably have family and friends. But what's one thing that you want people to know about your company that they don't know right now?
I guess that we're 100% built by the community. We support and endorse locally. Everything from the website to the product to the packaging to the labeling, it's all being sourced through local talent. And everything that I'm doing, the whole project is not me just bootstrapping this whole thing. I've got a lot of experience in this space, and I've got a lot of like professional advice in on my corner that's kind of helping me guide me through these intricate things, just like the trademark issue, or if I need any advice on direction. So my point being, if you want to follow a journey that's kind of is taking off in the right direction, and you want to learn how to apply some of these practices and strategies in your own journey, give us a follow, check us out, and just have fun along the ride. We're more than just a beard brand. We're more than just community as well. We want to kind of give out a fun and interactive experience through our voting and contests and all that good stuff.
Awesome, man. I'm awesome. Congratulations on doing this. This was a really great discussion. James, do you have any last minute comments or questions?
No, like I said before, I'm excited to see where the brand is going to build from. I'm saying, like from right now to where you take it at. So I look forward to interacting as well, and I hope everybody else, even in here or that watches, signs on to your company or to the page and interacts as well and joins in and kind of build the brand with you.
Right.
Thanks, I appreciate that, and I hope you guys get your product soon. I'm really excited for both of you to try it, and cool. Your feedback is always welcome, because I definitely know that you guys have tried some other ones out too. So I'm always open for feedback.
Cool.
Absolutely.
And for anybody who's watching this, future tense, current tense, follow this man, it sounds like such a fun journey. What a fun opportunity to be part of something that's from this, this is working from the bottom up. You can sit to see December 17th isn't that long ago. You're seeing him just starting up and being able to be part of that journey with him. That's what he's wanting. And I think that's what we can do for him, is be able to uplift him on this journey with him and be part of it. I think this is a great opportunity for anybody. And so just join him. You can see him on Build a Beard Co. And that's his handle on IG. DM the man if you have any questions. Vinny sounds like you're very open and honest and transparent about where he's going. And if people have questions for what they want to do for a side hustle or whatever, it sounds like he's more than happy to help you figure that out for yourself, which is amazing. And he's working on a website soon to be released, and we'll definitely be following your journey with that as well. We'll probably have you on again sometimes, hopefully in the next soon bit.
I'd love to.
Absolutely. We love
this is my first live, so
yeah, happy to have you on, buddy. This was a fun journey to talk with you today, and I always am so uplifted by people's positive messages, and this is an empowering opportunity for people to be part of it. So very cool, very cool. As always, we always give out the what are you doing this week? Maybe you're doing next month. What are you doing, Vinny? What's the next thing on your agenda? What is the next thing that you have going on the next week, next month?
For Build a Beard Co.?
Yeah. Or a personal, whatever.
Personal. I just moved into a new home with my wife, so it's just a lot of moving and cleaning up and getting these new packages coming in, with delayed shipping and all that. So that's what I have on the go in the short run.
Cool. That sounds like fun. James, what do you got going on? I know that you have a stream in 40 minutes, and I want everybody to go check out. Chronic Mike is one of our good friends, and now what is it? Bandbox Fellows. I'm very excited to see him being able to throw this up and do this. Mike is just a really stand-up dude in the community, so I'm excited to see what he's doing. I'm glad you're part of this, James. I'm glad you're part of that.
Oh, me too. I always definitely support him. Always, from when he started to whenever, forever. Like, he's always going to be somebody I'm always going to support. So, other than that. But yeah, other than that, it's just nothing too crazy. Just kind of getting some things done around here. Trying to just create some more content again. It's been a little bit since I made a video, but I'm gonna get back on the wagon pretty soon and start pumping some stuff out.
Very cool. I have finally got out of retreat, so no, excuse me. I am now looking forward to making some more videos, making more content. I've been doing the podcast, which has been well received by anybody listening to it, who've come up to me and said, I absolutely love your podcast. So we're doing that Gurus podcast, and it's Gurus podcast, books, beards, and self-improvement. And we just got finished with our first book of the month, and now we're moving on to a book from Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now. So teaching a lot of those Zen-ish techniques, where it's the mindfulness techniques where you're very centered. And so we're looking forward to reading that book with everybody. So come check us out on that podcast. And then, I'm doing the video log stuff. So
nice. What's up, Cam?
Yeah, what's going on? So I appreciate everybody coming on. We did this a little early this week just because we had to accommodate, but we are so happy Vinny was coming on. We appreciate you so much for doing what you're doing, buddy. It was a delight to have you on, and we again appreciate you coming on. We appreciate all the guests who have seen this and are going to see this again. Go follow Vinny on his journey. Very excited to do this for him.
Absolutely.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for jumping on.
We'll talk to you soon, and we'll be here next week. I don't know who with, but we will. But I'm letting James kind of handle this stuff this year. So he's coming up with some awesome gold. He has got the gold.
Trying to figure out what I'm gonna do next. I'm still looking.
It's all good, but I'm telling you, so far it's been what, we've been 2 or 3 of these now, and it's been really awesome.
That's the best one I think of the year. Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, very cool stuff. So happy to be able to do this with everybody. Thanks all the community that's following us. We'll talk to you soon.